with the opening match, which was Renan Barão and Cole Escovedo. I think I went for Renan Barão on this one, which is probably just as well because he got the unanimous decision. They were, interestingly enough, I thought it was a good match, but they were stood up several times, I think in the second and maybe the third, or maybe it was the first and the second, I can't remember, because of inactivity, which I thought was strange because you don't usually get that from the very, very small fighters, but there we are. There was a moment at the end of the first, I think it was, when I thought for one terrible moment that Renan Barão was over and done with, but it thankfully he recovered from that. Right, Chris Cariacio and Michael McDonald. Now, Michael McDonald managed to get a split decision victory there. I think that he might have been able to finish it in the first had he gone ahead with a few of his submission attempts, which he only half-heartedly seemed to go for. I think he possibly deserves the split decision victory because of the stoppage or the timeout, so to speak, in the second round, because he got hit by a low blow. So that is possibly he's deserving of that. I like it when it's a reasonably close match, and possibly the fouls that are made, accidental or not, are sort of taken into consideration to decide who wins and who doesn't. Goodness knows what will happen to Kendall Grove now that he has lost his decision to Tim Boach. We'll see shortly if he ends up getting expelled from the institution for that. Right, Gleison Tibau and Rafaelo Oliveira. Not really surprised that that Gleison won that one, to be honest. Sounded like quite a good one in the second round, but the first round might have been a little bit slow in starting off. And it's bum decision of the night time for the match between Miguel Torres and Demetrius Johnson. I thought that it was quite clear that Miguel Torres won the match. But there we are. Demetrius Johnson got a rather controversial unanimous decision. I didn't even think it was that close, but there we are. This presents a little bit of a problem, and unfortunately it's going to end up backfiring on Demetrius Johnson, if you ask me. This was supposed to be a squash match, but it was legitimate in that Demetrius Johnson had finished Kid Yamamoto by decision to qualify to fight somebody of Miguel Torres and his calibre. This gift from the judges, for whatever reason, I don't know, it does seem a bit weird to me, is going to backfire because he didn't manage to finish Miguel Torres. So he's got 2 decision victories against calibres, and now he's going to be expected to fight calibres of that standard all the time. Now, even if one was legitimate, a split decision victory, I don't think that he is going to be able to keep up as fast as circumstances will force him to, which will probably end up in him suffering major defeat after defeat and just ruin what might have been a better career had he lost this match by unanimous decision, and bounced back from it maybe after another fight. Slower progress and maybe then he would be able to fight and actually win, actually finish. Bum decision, terrible bum decision. I don't think it's going to do Miguel Torres too much damage. He did go through a recent spell of losing to some serious calibers, but this is obviously a bum decision, so hopefully they take that into consideration, and I'm sure he'll be alright next time he fights, let's hope, anyway. Stand-up war between Brian Stann and George Santiago ends in the second round, finally, with a stoppage, TKO stoppage. Rick Story and Thiago Alves. You know, I am pleased that Rick Story gets the unanimous decision here. I'm also pleased that he did spend a certain amount of time on the feet with Thiago Alves. I am a little bit, not disappointed, I am a little bit... my problem with this victory is that, and Rick Story has already sort of come out and said, you know, now it's time for me to be a contender, etc, etc, etc. My problem is, Thiago Alves is somebody that I think a future contender would need to finish, or at least sort of go through with a little bit more panache, shall we say. Particularly as the people higher up the chain that he will be fighting are wrestlers and groundsmen just like he is here. So he's going to be facing people that are who actually have their strength in his area of strength as well. And if he's unable to finish people who are who aren't particularly strong in his area of strength, I think that is going to be he possibly needs to face other people of the same level before he goes into direct contendership. And I think he needs to prove that he can finish. And, you know, that might sound harsh. I'm very pleased he won. I really am. But I'm saying, you know, long term, if you're expecting him to be a future champion and a challenge to GSP, he had a brilliant opportunity here to show some sort of finish and something that would actually get people saying, you know, it's not just a unanimous decision upset, but it's actually a finish, and he's looking now to go on and challenge, you know, higher up. There you are. Frank Mir and Roy Nelson. Frank Mir won. It was, again, not the match that I'd hoped. You know, I had hoped maybe for a submission there against Roy Nelson. Wasn't the most exciting fight in the world, and I think that was part of the problem with the booing, with people booing. But I mean, I have no problem really with Jackson winning that one. I had hoped, I had thought that maybe if Jackson's head wasn't in the right place, Matt Hamill would manage to take it. And you know, to his credit, he never gave up in trying to get takedowns and the likes. But he hasn't got it on the feet, not to the same extent as Jackson. Not in terms of power either, I think. So there we are.